welcome to this edition of Coffee with Zenzi. Today we will be talking everything entrepreneurs. As you can see, I've got an all-female panel. I'm joined by my very good friends Ada Awala, Loide Nantinda, and Emily Nikano. Today we're going to be talking about our entrepreneurial journeys. But before I go into it, let me just tell you a little bit about Ada. I met Ada a couple of years ago. She is this amazing, everybody knows her. She's an amazing makeup artist, well-renowned. She's got, her makeup goes all the way to Cyprus. I think she did some places in Ghana. Not Ghana. Apparently, Zimbabwe, Askisi. All over. But what I love about her, as I've mentioned on my page, is just her heart for entrepreneurship and how like her journey is amazing. I will not go into it. I will allow her to talk about it. To my right, my friends Loida and Emily have been basically very instrumental in bringing this shop to life. They are like my Elizabeths. When Mary met Elizabeth, and those people who brought so Loida has got an amazing lineup. She is actually can I call you a filmmaker? It starts there, and then everything else. Yeah, she is a filmmaker, and everything else goes with it. Loida single-handedly in the beginning, she organized my launch party, and she does a lot of amazing stuff. She will talk about it just now. And then there is Emily Nikano. Emily is she makes beautiful wedding dresses. Lavender Tales. Everybody knows about her. Why I brought these ladies here is because, like I said in my intro, I am a newbie to entrepreneurship, and every time I come to a little bit of a hiccup, somebody will say, "Oh, Zenzi, that's normal." I'm like, no, that cannot be normal. But one thing we all have in common is that we literally went from full-time employment and jumped into entrepreneurship, which on its own is actually quite apparently risky, but it's really a story of passion. I'll start with me. So I'm still a geologist. I can't say I was a geologist. I am a geologist. I was full-time employed for 16 years, looking for diamonds in Oranjemund and in the waters on the other side of the world. And then in April 2021, I launched this amazing coffee shop. So I became an entrepreneur literally in like this. It has been an amazing journey of pain, but like that pain that's nice. When you bump yourself and you rub and you're like, yeah, can we do it one more time?
I think more the pain of working out.
Also that one,
your muscles ache, but you know that you've done a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do it again tomorrow.
You do it again tomorrow because you also know that there's something really big that's going to come out of it. So that's basically been me. I'm literally learning about entrepreneurship as I'm going. But I'm glad I've got you guys on my side that I can learn from. And the other thing also is that a lot of the times I keep on saying each and every one of us are actually born entrepreneurs. There's no such thing as you became an entrepreneur. I believe everybody has the sort of innate ability to sell, because that's what entrepreneurs are. We take a gap in whatever the industry, and we turn it into something you can make money out of.
You see a problem and want to solve it.
Yes, and make money out of it at the same time. So in my case, I couldn't find a coffee shop that would serve amazing coffee and that I could work from at the same time, and I thought, why not do it? And a coffee shop that will teach people about coffee and all of that. So I turned that into a business. Yes, it took 20 years to craft the dream, but here we are sitting in Zenzi's coffee shop. Anna, tell me about your journey. What was your before life?
Okay, so hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I am from an IT background. Coming from an IT background, that situation where your parents say, go study. You must study something.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, I want to go to hair school. No, go study. So I went to do IT. I did that and I had a 7-year IT career. I worked for this company, but then it came a point where I was working and I didn't want to wake up to go to work anymore. I didn't have that drive. something was just missing. I'm like, no. And while I was working, obviously I was having this business on the side. I was juggling weekends. I didn't have a life. I had full-time Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Weekends, I had Ada's creation. And then I was juggling both until one day I just couldn't wake up anymore to go to the other job. Then I said, no, I just need to take a leap of faith and jump. So the one thing I did is I did it on the side. So I created a clientele and I was known while I was doing on the side. So it was a little bit easier to jump in, but still I just jumped in without any capital. I said, no, I'm going to do this full time. That was 2019. 2019, nobody knows that COVID was just around the corner.
I think I'm the one that's hit the most about the COVID around the corner.
Homegirl decided she's going to do full-time makeup. Okay, parents still don't understand, but I said, I'm going to do it. So here I was, January 2019. I was in it. February 2020, COVID came. Everything was on hold. But I wouldn't lie and say that, Zenzi said it, it's passion-led. If it wasn't passion-led, you won't wake up every day. Emily said it's like going to the gym. You feel that pain when you're lifting and you're just in pain. You know tomorrow because you know what it does to your soul when you do what you love and you're so happy doing it. And that's basically how I just decided to go full-time. Opened my studio this year in May. It was all God-led. Everything is God-led, One thing I should say about working for yourself, you need to be God-led. You need to be centered. God needs to be in your life because it's not easy. It's a very lonely journey.
That's good.
You are doing it alone. Your family is looking at you. You had a good job. You're getting good money and you want to go work for yourself. What do you mean? Now you come to us crying. No, you left that willingly on your own. So you are constantly proving your family wrong. You're constantly proving your friends wrong. You're constantly proving society wrong that I can do this. But you need to constantly drive yourself. You need to be self-driven. It's not easy, but like I said, if you're really passionate, don't chase the money. Be passionate about work ethic. And the money will follow you. So in a nutshell, that's how I really became where I am right
That's
now.
a very big nutshell, my friend. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Lloyd, tell us your journey. How, and where, and how.
Okay, so I guess I'm a little bit different. I've never worked for anybody.
Oh.
I'm inspired by my family background. So for me, the norm was entrepreneurship. I never thought of working for anyone. I didn't see it happening in my family. So naturally, it never crossed my mind. But I can say that I was with an agency because obviously I started out as an actress. I did acting for film at City Varsity, and then I was a model for a good 10 years. I was in that industry. But even still then, you are really marketing yourself and you learn. So you're selling yourself every single time. And then, and then eventually as I ventured off into the world, I, registered my company here in Namibia and started, for my production company and stuff. And just ventured off and started building all kinds of brands that were creative and that had women empowerment as the core.
Traveled the world.
Traveled the world, lived in New York, and in London, did documentaries going to the Philippines, everywhere. I'm still in the midst of that, then COVID hit. And that is real as an entrepreneur and as an artist, as a filmmaker, you have real obstacles. And even for me, when I left home at 18, they were like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to study film. I'm going to be a creative. That's all I want to do. And obviously even then they were like, why don't you do business? Why don't you do what? Okay, fine. Then go study something else. Maybe you can get a job. And I was just like, no, that's what I'm going to do. So again, also it's been a thing of like proving your family wrong. And, sometimes it's like, we told you, but I'm just like, this is what I want to do. I'm passionate. I love my freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur and being a buzz lady.
Yes.
It's a journey, and you really do need God. For me, that is my source. That's my direction. I don't do anything without going on my knees and all of that. And even when it comes to partnerships and appearing in spaces and doing business, it's not about the money. It's about making sure that those people align with who I am and that I have peace about it. So when God is with God, obviously in my journey, I can certainly say that sometimes you have to actually say no to money
Yeah.
that you need.
No, not every money is good money.
Yeah, so I've had to say no to money when somebody said, hey, I know you want to do this, I will give you this, and you're like, okay, and then what, and then you have to say no and go eat noodles or sell your car for the second time.
Yeah. Yeah, eat noodles. I mean, I've got two kids, and I can't imagine telling Malika and Reagan, honey, listen. So we're
eating noodles,
guys.
right?
That thought, and I think that is for me my drive. Like I keep on saying, closing the shop is not an option.
No.
Like it's not an option.
No.
But that's today's not about me. It's about everybody here. Emily, tell us your journey. What is your story?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Nikano. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years now. This is my 10th year. I initially started off in corporate. We actually founded the DHL Global Forwarding branch at the coast. We did imports and export. I was a global forwarding freight forwarder. And after 2.5 years in the industry, I remember the one time I drove to the harbor. I was going to go see the captain of a vessel. And so if you go into the Namport harbor, you need to wear a hard hat. You need to wear, the safety boots. And the reflector. And I was driving the car, with the at the top, and I'm just like, what am I doing here? A thought just came to me. What am I doing here? This is not me. This is not my life. I don't envision myself wearing safety boots for the rest of my life. And since that moment, I was in corporate for 2.5 years. And since that moment, I never had peace about working. But even then, initially, I never wanted, I always knew that I was going to own a business. I was going to be a business owner, especially in the fashion and design industry. Growing up, I would always make my own clothes as young as 10 years old, 15 years old. I would steal my mom's sewing machine because she was a part-time, she was a teacher and a part-time, dressmaker. So I would steal her machine and I would make my own clothes. So I always knew that I was somehow going to end up in that line. Because my parents also come from a big entrepreneurship background. Although my dad worked in the medical industry. So actually my parents wanted me to be a doctor. I remember the one time, I think about maybe 5 years ago, my mom came to me and he's like, by now you would have been a doctor. I'm just like, oh wow. So you have to deal with, stuff like that, navigate things like that. This is the path that you have taken, you enjoy it, and it's a passion that drives. And obviously now they can see the fruit and the satisfaction thereof that comes with it. But yeah, it's been a great journey. I mean, I am married with 2 kids, so I do have a good support structure in terms of, just my family supporting my dream, and yeah, it's been amazing. And yes, I must say, yes, you need to be grounded in terms of your conviction in your business, because times will get hard. Like when we just had the COVID hit, literally the entire wedding industry shut down for a couple of months, and you just have to believe that it will revive again, and that you can't see yourself doing anything else. And that's really through that, some people were able to be really to recreate themselves and really think beyond, the normal box, and really make something amazing. Like Ada was able to birth her business through the pandemic, so
Yeah, I mean, so what I'm getting, sort of the silver line, is it the golden line here? Can I just talk about that we're all wearing like orange?
Yes, we have to respect lenses.
Well, I mean, it's the power of my CI, but the orange is a significant color for me. So I was so happy to walk in here and see you guys wearing orange, and I'm wearing a bit of Ghana. Look, girl talk. So one of the things I'm finding that we're kind of carrying in common here is the dream and then the passion.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're following a dream, we're following a passion. Mine took 16 years, and I want to touch on that a little bit. I mean, I shared last week when I was talking to the ladies of F&B that in those 16 years, I actually did not enjoy what I was doing. I use a very strong word. I said I hated being a geologist, but I excelled at it. You know, today I'm still one of, at least they still consider me to be one of the best exploration geologists that, you know, on the southwestern coast of Namibia, looking for diamonds. But in all of that, the dream of owning a coffee shop is what kept me going. So when I would get frustrated, which was a lot of times, I would literally escape into my head, into the dream to make it, you know, to keep me alive, basically. But I also knew, because my story is a little bit different from yours, way, because it all fell in place at the right time. COVID hit us in June 2020. Our first lockdown was March 2020, I think it was. And then in June, July, I went for an interview for the space. I was awarded the space. I signed the lease in October, and then basically moved in here April of the following year. How did you sort of nurture that dream? Loda, let me start with you, because you have been, I love your, I don't know if you're going to share the story of the Philippines, but you've been in the most weirdest places, but with the amazing stories. How did you nurture, how did you make sure that your dream does not fall? It does not die, it does not become a nightmare, which I'm sure it did at some point, but how did you navigate yourself around that? Because that's another strong word, navigation, around your dream and then around the challenges.
Yeah. So obviously a dream has to do a lot with vision, and vision is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a visionary at the core. Obviously, as a creative, I would like to say that I always say, you know, speak of myself as a creative of so many spheres, as a filmmaker and all of that. But when I speak and when I see something, it's always in a vision and whatnot. So it doesn't matter what is going on in my life. I'm always looking forward and looking at what the final product is. And thank God, obviously, you know, when you have faith in God is in your life, you get dreams, literal dreams, and you do have visions to actually see like where you are going or what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, that has been it. But that, you know, obviously, you know, and also testimony.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you speak about the Philippines or let's say Ghana, and you know, all of those things are testimony for you to go back, you know, to have a track record and say, listen, it might be really tough right now, but, you know, because we get so hard on ourselves and you think, oh, just because now it's like a really dry year or 5 months, which is of no income into your business bank account, then you think that's it, you know, and that's not it. I think it's just a part of life, you know, and, you know, you have testimony, you know, God is faithful, and you've done your work and you are worthy, and it's just a tough patch, and you're gonna come back and you can only learn and become better. And yes, before you know it, you are connected to amazing people and you go on to do better and amazing things. So I think testimony and having a track record and having a vision really helps to go through. So it's, you know, I always say that, you know, have a vision board, have a
plan.
Have a plan.
You know,
I mean, the Bible talks about write down your vision and there's that,
and pray.
And pray.
And pray on it.
I mean, and so because one of the things, especially now with COVID, we had to be creative a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that creativity is first sort of encouraged by our vision, and it's also encouraged by our prayer life. And one of the things I am struggling with, because going from corporate straight into entrepreneurship, is I never had to sit there and say to my creditors, hey, can you give me a chance? Like I just need 1 more month. It's one of the hardest things for me as a newbie in entrepreneurship, running a whole business. It's really trying to explain to my creditors, like, or people I owe money, or who, you know, like, guys, just please buy into my dream. And it's very difficult, especially as a woman, first of all. But in this world where we talk, because you know, going to somebody and saying, guys, God showed me this vision, and you have to believe in this vision because it comes from God. Ada, I have to come to you. How do you, you know, navigate that? How do you navigate your creditors? How do you, the people whom obviously, you know, you owe money, and how do you go around that? Do you go tell them I prayed?
Okay, so it's amazing that you asked me this question because it's one of my toughest. So being in the industry whereby my niche market is weddings.
Yeah.
Me and her, like we understand each other because when COVID happened, weddings really were on stop.
Yeah.
And I, for the past how many years? 6 years. I've been in the industry for 12 years. But then 6 years ago, I found a system that works. Book up in advance so that you have money coming in every month. So that system has been working really well for me. So whereby you send a quotation, it gets a 50% deposit paid. So you find a situation where brides have paid a whole 100% for a wedding that's in December, in February. Now that money is taking care of other businesses within the business. COVID happens and this wedding is called off. That bride wants 100%
of her money back.
Yeah. And because COVID, there was not a warning. We didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
So your contract does not say anything about COVID. Should COVID happen, ABC, I'll pay your money back. I want my money back. Before you know it, it's Maria and Selma, and it's like 5 brides that want their deposits back. You have no choice but. Now you have invoices. Say I do corporate. I do corporate, whereby I do makeup and styling for corporate companies. So corporate takes a while to pay. But you know they'll pay. But they'll take a nice 30 days to pay. But now you've done your work already this month. There's bills that needs to be paid. So you don't know how to go to, make an example, say MTC. I'm not saying that they want, I'm just making an example. You can't go back there, it doesn't look good, you asking for your money, it just doesn't look professional. So you have to pray because it's the only way, because they don't understand. They just want their money because you're also protecting your brand. It will look like, oh, that other doesn't pay people's money back. This. So you're constantly just hoping and praying that this client. So what I've learned during COVID is negotiation.
Yeah.
Speaking, you need to speak up.
Yeah.
You need to speak up. One thing I've learned from a well-known lady in the industry, Wendy, she said, tell the client the truth. Be honest about your story. Let the client do with whatever she or he does with that information. But you might actually help that client. It's better than lying and running away. That's the same with the bank. If you are in minus, and a lot of us in businesses, we go in minuses a lot because invoices are really behind. So you go to the bank. Don't run away from that call from FNB, from whichever bank. Go in and speak to your banker. That's where you actually realize who your private banker is. It took us, you need to get in that bank, explain your situation. Then the bank can give you a grace period. A lot of us got a grace period. If you have a mortgage, I had a mortgage. They give me 6-month grace period to pay off my mortgage. How about from 7,000, how about 4,000, how about 2,000? Give me a payment. So you learn to negotiate. So one thing I walked away with, be honest, tell your truth, let them do with whatever they do with that truth, but at least you're honest. And then they will wait. A bank, one thing I've learned, it's just a business, just like us. They don't want to lose you as a client. So they'll do anything to keep you. So that's the one thing I learned. Even my landlord, he told me, listen, Ada, I'm a business person. I understand. Pay when you can. Pay whatever you can, when you can. So it just shows that everybody's in this together. COVID brought all of us together as business owners, especially small startups. They understand you when you speak up. Do you understand? So that's what I learned.
That's very encouraging for me, because you tell the truth,
Yeah.
negotiate where you can, and be honest. Well, basically, just be honest. Like, hey, I cannot pay your bill this month because of ABC.
This is where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, what I found worked for me also is the fellowship. I mean, how many? Because Loide, Emily and I meet once a week, and you be there and you just literally lying prostrate on the floor, just crying, and like, guys, this is tough. This is tough because literally on this journey, you are my OCs. You guys have done this before, and then Emily would just sit there looking at me like, yeah. Now get up. This is the plan. So. Hey Diggy, nice to see you on here. Is there anything else that you ladies want to touch on before we open the floor online for questions, Emily?
We can open the floor.
Can we open the floor?
I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yes. So we'll take about a minute or so, 2 maybe, to answer some questions online, and then we'll continue with our chat before we're taking any closing remarks. Hey Joycey, thanks for joining us. Brenda's also online, and I'm so grateful to be joined by my brother from across the other side of the world. Hey Tunje, Archie's here as well, and they wanted to come and see what us ladies are talking about today.
Perhaps he has a question.
Do you have a question for us? Archie, you must have a question for us.
Okay, how long, because we came late, how long have each of you been in business?
So Tunje is asking how long has each of us been in business. I just joined. I'm a year old, almost. I'm 11 months old.
Yeah. 12 years on the side, and then I'm going for 4 years with an actual open business. Yeah.
Lloyd?
I would say
Since inception.
I registered my entity, my business officially in 2014, but yeah.
Yep, 2013 I registered with me.
Yeah.
Officially 10 years in April. I think we should get back here for our 10 years
Whoop, whoop.
anniversary.
Yeah, no, we should. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
I have a question to you ladies. So I mean, it's quite lengthy period of time you've been in the business. How important is mentorship for new entrepreneurs? Because I would have loved to have some kind of mentorship. I mean, I've got amazing friends, yes, but for those out there who don't, good question, Moningandu. I will get to that. Just Moningandu is asking, how did you deal with the uncertainty in income before taking the leap? We will get to that just now. The mentorship issue, how important? Because I think it's massively important.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I did when I left full-time employment is that I got all kinds of coaches. I mean, I got a speech coach with Hey Harry. I had a personal coach. I had a career coach. All of that. But one thing I did not get is somebody who would walk with me, who's done this before, step by step.
Yeah. I would say it's critical for your business, and I wish that I'd learned it earlier in my business, because what takes someone maybe 5 years to get to a certain point, with good mentorship, it can take you even 6 months.
Yes.
Because some things you learn on the job. But if you had someone like, for instance, a good example would be when we walked with you when you were opening up the coffee shop. Some of the things that, let's say, that worried you, we were able to see it because we've been there before.
Yeah,
say, no, you don't need to stress about this, or no, don't worry, this will work out, or no, you need to do this, because we were able to, we could anticipate and see what you were not able to perhaps have full scope of, because you were new in the industry, in being an entrepreneur, if I can put it like that. And I would say, perhaps you would agree with me that saved you, if not just maybe loss of peace, mental peace, maybe even money,
thousands of dollars actually
that you could have taken. So I think mentorship is really critical. Even not just at the beginning of the business, but throughout, because you're constantly evolving as an entrepreneur or a business person. So I think with every step that you take, you should get even just one session, or maybe if you it's a mentor that you pay for, or a coach, or maybe 2 sessions to just to say, okay, this is what I plan on doing, and they can give input into that. Like I had to get a coach, a business coach, and a personal coach at the beginning of the year, because I wanted a different direction for myself as Emily the brand, and also for my business. I need to take a different route, and I wanted input for someone who's had experience, or who's has coached many people who've been where I've been, to just give some input. And I would say it really saved me a lot of roads going there for information when you have information bundled up, just at the right view from a coach. So I think it's really, really critical.
I think I totally agree, and that's why I believe that this was so divinely put together, and this can only be God, that at the time that I was about to open my business, I was put together with the two of you.
I went through a depression area where I thought, okay, God, you said I should go full-time, right? I heard clearly that you said I should go full-time. Why am I stuck? So I said, I'm gonna do a 21-day prayer channel on social media. I went out of my comfort zone. I said, you know what? I'm sure somewhere on my followers there's somebody dealing with what I'm dealing with, and that helped me a great deal. 5 a.m. every day for 21 days. I showed up on my social media, went live like this, and spoke about how I was feeling, prayed about it, and a lot of people were in my DM saying, "No, Ada, I did this also." So it helped a lot. So use what you have. I use what I have to get solutions to my problems, and that really helped a great deal. So again, God. For me, it's God. So I didn't worry about my income or lack of income. I knew He'll provide for me. So it's whatever you believe in, that will save you. That's how I survived mine, or that's how I
stuck to my business plan. I evolved it over the years, obviously, and I had this cash flow projection. Sometimes, so when the numbers, whatever scenario you throw, because I'm from the mining industry, where we would have to do at least 10 or 15 scenarios before it makes sense. So I would throw different scenarios myself, but obviously the one scenario nobody planned for was COVID-19 hitting us out of nowhere. Oh, look at me, because he's one of the scenario planners. He was here telling me about, how we should plan differently for next COVID. There's another question here by Touch by Dio. What advice will you give someone stuck between career, which is 8 to 5, and business? Touch by Dio, we touched on that. Touch by Dio, we touched on that.
It's actually a makeup artist.
Oh, hey! So Ada, you touched on that.
I think I touched on it, because the thing about jumping, right? It's a personal thing. It has to be between you and God. You need to be led. You need to know in your spirit that this is the right move. It's not something I can tell you move. I can't tell you quit your job now. It has to be a personal decision. You need to be a prayerful person. It needs to really be coming from God direct. That's what happened with me. So that's what happened with me, and then he, knowing very well and believing that he got you, you'll be all right. Because they say, take the first step, and God will take care of the next step. So the minute you are in your comfort zone, you don't want to step out, you're blocking your blessing. So the minute you just open up and you move, he will do the rest. That's what happens.
He'll catch you.
I opened my studio by going to look for a job. I went to a barber called Vigo. He owned my current studio, and I went there and said, "Listen, you have a very nice studio here, hair salon. I would love to have a station here where I can do makeup." He says, "What's your name?" "Ada." "From Ada's Creations." Like, "No way, you're our own brand. How about to take this whole space?" It took me to get out of my comfort zone to go look for a job from this guy, for him to speak up and say, "I'll speak to the landlord, don't worry." But I had to do it. So you need to believe within yourself, and you need to be prayerful, and you need to know when it's time.
So faith plays a massive role.
And what
and your personal relationship with God, really,
and
because
very, very personal.
Having faith, but you need to be able to hear
Very
from him,
personal,
to guide you. Emily,
what I just got from Ada's story really is having a deep conviction about what you want to do, believing that this you will succeed in what you're going to do, and really just going, not being double-minded, really going for what you want to do. If you're still doubting whether you should stay in an 8 to 5 or go full-time entrepreneurship, then I think if you do then go into entrepreneurship full-time, then I think you always have that doubt at the back of your head. So you have to 100% believe that you can do this, even when everyone else doesn't believe.
That's right.
Because they will believe you when you see that you have gone out and that you are taking steps. And what Ada shared was for me was really it touched me because you went out to look for a job, but God knew what was deep inside, like your deepest desire, your heart's desire. He knew what that was, and it was waiting at the end of your obedience, which was to go out, to take the first step and do what you need to, whether it's look for a job. It doesn't always end up that way because God knows the desires of your heart.
It happened after the 21 day. It happened after the 21 day obedience, showing up every day and being in His presence.
So good. That's so good.
And what I just to add on, what I really like about you, especially you, Ada, is consistency. If there is something that I've been able to really notice, especially showing up on social media, is consistency, and people can trust consistency.
Amen.
Yeah, and with that, you can only really get more sales and clientele.
You need to show up.
You need to show up.
True.
You need to show, and you need to have conviction. I mean, like, I like that because for me, that's the thing. It was really, I am still facing fear sometimes, but then at that time, I would get a word that says, hey, you are still in the right. A lot of my people are asking me, are you maybe considering going back to full-time employment? I'm still consulting. I'm still a geologist. I still do my work, but this currently is my baby. I need to get it to a stage where it's at least walking before I let it leave the nest. I've got a question here from Winnie. Sorry that I'm calling you out, but she left the counter to go live and ask a question. She's asking, given another, I guess, would you choose entrepreneurship all over again? And if yes, what would you do differently? I'll ask another question. Lizelle Mupeti is asking, what common struggles did you encounter at the beginning of the journey? I've got me, I'm Tamara, so I'll just go Khomilira. She's saying, I think my biggest issue is patience. How do I keep going if I'm not winning at the pace I was expecting to win? Oh, honey, you are gonna just have to be patient. We'll talk about that at some point. Wakulele Lome is saying, how has balancing entrepreneurship and family, spouse, kids been? Oh my goodness. I'm assuming being your own boss possibly means more time is spent at the business and less at home. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Miss Sis Makolele Lome. Amazing question. Because that one is actually the one that hit me the most. And last night we had a session where somebody just confirmed prophetic ministry, and the word I got was, Zenzi, I know you're worrying about your kids, but don't worry about your kids. God is talking to them. My kids, and I even put it this morning on the other day, because I was I had so much mommy guilt. So I woke up the one morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna spoil my kids today. I'm gonna make flapjacks. Okay, I'm gonna have the whole nice breakfast and the lunch. And my flapjacks turned out to look really terrible. So they come down the stairs and then they were like, Mommy, you tried. They look like nice fat cooks, They even burned, okay? They were there slicing it and putting on jam.
And then you said God knew which kids to send me.
Yeah, for me, it really is. The way I balance it is to be brutally honest with my children. Very, very honest with them. And I guess it's the same principle I must apply when I go to my creditors, with my bank, and say, hey guys, I'm in this situation, But I'm very honest with my support structure and my children. I've got an amazing support structure. I've got friends, I've got family. My mom, my sister, my cousin are so amazing with them. That's the one. So we've got about 5 minutes before we end this live. I know I wish we would stay forever, but you know how it is, because it must go on YouTube, and then I don't want
I just want to touch on that question of patience. Patience has a lot with timing as well. If there's something that is very important in life, just speaking as a coach, and in business as well, as you go out about your dream, is kind of understanding your cycles and divine cycles and seasons, and really being in God's timing, because sometimes even if you're qualified something, or you feel like, okay, fine, I've written this down, I've sometimes I've written the idea, for instance, I've maybe 2 scripts that are sitting down for 2 years now, you know, that are ready and whatnot. But it's just the aligning and
It
the
is the
timing
alignment,
of the
yeah.
right people, and you know that you have to be patient and don't let somebody also like pressure you and say, hey, didn't you say you were gonna do this and whatever. So you
It's true.
really need to
Yeah.
to not digest what people are saying outside, because
Yeah.
sometimes that impatience is peer pressure, and people are like,
Peer
you
pressure.
said you're gonna do a business most. Oh,
I had a lot of that.
So all of that, you know, it's, you know, take the ego away, take the pride away, and just be patient and really trust the timing and the partnerships that are gonna come your way to be able to execute something.
That is
Also, don't compare yourself to other people. My goodness,
Be in your
guys,
own lane.
what worked for Zenzi is not necessarily going to work for Emily, or what works for Emily will not work for Ada. So don't compare yourself, because your story is yours. Yeah. Your plan, and I always say you can duplicate, but you just cannot imitate, or the other way around. You can imitate, but you can't duplicate. And because if you do that kind of thing, that's when you are putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. And be patient, because you know that you know for sure this will work. Okay.
Yeah, especially as an entrepreneur, you also have to protect your mental health. Because
so
especially
true.
from social media, to be able to really just be in the right space, not because studies have shown that, you know, that dopamine from social media taking a lot of, you know, info, seeing who's doing this, who's doing that, you know, it can actually affect you mentally, you know, anxiety or depression wise. So rather spend more time, you know, on the business and working on the business, you know, get your content or work on your products, you know, and because just as you were talking about seasons, you know, because it's one of the scriptures that I really like. It talks about how there's a time and a season for everything. And time and chance happens to everyone, so everyone will get a chance. Or and it is a quote that says, you know, opportunity meets preparation. So work on your product and work on your self development, because you will, time and chance happens for everyone. You will get a chance. There will be a time where you get the opportunity, but that opportunity must find you prepared. Must find you prepared so you can be able to shine. If it is your time, you will shine. So that comes hand in hand with the patience, being patient and being able to see the vision and go with it, however long it takes.
Focus as well.
To see it come to fruition, that vision that you have, because sometimes it can take a long time. If you have a big dream, it will take a long time for the dream to come to life. So you need the patience, because alongside that, God will teach you a few things that you need to know. So that not just to get to the top, but also to maintain
Come on now.
being at the top, to have the character to
Preach,
stay at the top.
Mrs. Nikano.
Ms. Nikano touched a very important thing. I don't want to not say it. One thing I've realized about social media is everybody is really just worried about the prettiness of how your page look like. And a lot of the kids, I'm saying the youth, they are hiding behind that. They're really going through the most. I say be authentic. Don't be afraid to show your true self on social media. Don't be afraid, because it might speak to somebody. One thing I've started doing is I needed to start showing more of my nakedness, my own hair, my own face, no makeup, no filters, showing what it is that is authentic to you, because it's like we're hiding behind social media. And a lot of the ladies that are, they're saying influencer. You're influencer, you only want to post a pretty picture, but you are very depressed. You're going through the most. Why not talk about that? It might save somebody. Why not talk about your depression? Come on here, be bare, be your authentic self, and speak to that child that needs to see how you can also be vulnerable. It helps and it goes a long way, because social media really has become artificial, really. Artificial, and a lot of kids are they're committing suicide, to be honest, because they want to be like Ada. They want to be like, because Ada can never come on here not looking pretty. So people will come in my salon and say, oh wait, you are Ada's creation? I say, yeah, I'm a real person. I don't always have makeup on. I'm a real person. You know? I was like, there's no way that's you. It's like, no, it's me. You know, so let's really learn to not make social media about the prettiness. Yes, you want a curated page. Yes, there's professionals, and they say when you land on someone's page, that is your brand. But also be authentic.
Yeah.
Be your true self on
Especially
there.
the stories.
I mean, yeah.
I know I put a filter on there, but I'm saying that I started showing real life people on my page. I'll show a kid doing her hair, doing their makeup, coming as they are. I show a client coming with their hair damaged and the way they are without putting the filters on it. Because it connects with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I mean, I really wish we could talk forever. I think I might allow 1 more, 2 more, 3 more minutes. Hey, it's my page. I can do whatever I want to, right? But yeah, look, one of the things I think the most important takeaway message here is purpose. Again, it seems to be the common message for Coffee with Zenzi, is that a purpose-driven project will always succeed. And again, I have to bring in my friend Deshi Jamison's book here, which that's one of the lines that still punches me in my face. Desperation kills purpose. So don't, because Emily has got this successful lavender tails, say, oh, I can sew, I can also go and start my own lavender. You don't know Emily's story. Perhaps come sit with her for a second or two and ask her how she got to, and it is what basically the purpose for this. Hey, purpose. The purpose for Coffee with Zenzi, I want people to tell their authentic stories to encourage the next person. And I really hope we did that today. I believe we did. I think by being our authentic selves, hopefully we have paid our I know I have paid my fears, because my fear is still creditors, and I guess I need to go there tomorrow and say, hey, I got this issue. But I mean, yeah, let's be real. I also like what Munikandu wrote here. Creativity exists for everyone, but it has to find you working. You can't just sit there and look pretty without going out there and pursuing your purpose. With that, I'm going to ask for closing remarks. And then from you guys, and then we will call the night. I don't know, I'll start here.
Okay, so I'm very passionate about especially entrepreneurship, especially startup entrepreneurs. So if you're on the live and you don't know where to start, you want to start a business, hook me up, call me. Yeah, you can contact me. You can ask Zenzi to give you my contact details.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about mentoring young startup, whether male or female. I'm really passionate about that. So, and just start where you are with what you have, and do what you can do.
Yeah.
I think last night I went to a dinner with some clients and some new people that I was being introduced to, and one of the people pulled me back and asked me a very important question as to, they were confused, and how do they do this, and they have this other company and they have this other brand, but they don't know how they marry, and just listening to this guy. Obviously it was a thing of mentorship. Obviously he had no mentorship, and he did not have, although he knew innately what his purpose, what he's supposed to do, he was not in alignment. He didn't really have like a plan and all of that, and I think that has a lot to do with being coached. Being coached, it's super important. It has really done me amazing things that have come out of there. I don't know why I took so long. So guys, I am a personal coach, and I would like to help you. It really does the most. Like you need somebody to help you take out already what you know and present it in such a way that you can actually execute it and actually see results. And it's not like a gimmick where it's like, do this and you can actually do it. There's a formula to this. So I think I'll say get a coach.
I'll vouch for her. I've done coaching with Lloyd.
So the key word here is coaching. So basically, my core strength is obviously social media. And for the beauticians that are on here, remember I do beauty coaching as well to just help you find the niche. Very important for you to find a niche. If whatever industry you are, really, if you're a seamstress or whatever, find a niche. Be known for something, right? Be known for that one and perfect it. Don't be a jack of all trades. Try, my niche is wedding. I'm bridal. So every wedding, everybody getting married in Namibia, the only thing that's probably going to stop them is probably price, but they will think about my name, because that is what I've been preaching. When I introduce myself, I say I'm Ada, the bridal hair makeup artist, even when I was in IT. So it's very important for you to find the niche, stick to it, perfect it, be the master of it. Because remember, everybody is created with a gift. You need to find it. Don't look at everybody else's whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Find that one thing. Find your purpose. There's a job, then there's work. Find what it is that you're created to do by God. That is work. You're supposed to, not the job. So there's a difference. So the minute you find that, you'll find your calling. Then you thrive in it. But you need to constantly work at it, train. I constantly do makeup training. I will travel to South Africa to go perfect my skill. I will look for YouTube to make sure that I'm good in whatever I do. I'm constantly sharing wedding gowns because I know to go to send a bride to Emily. I'll say, go ask Emily if she can make this bride gown for you. Trends. So I'm constantly learning in my field of work. What are the trends that are happening around the world for brides, so that I can speak that language to my bride here, so I can send the right idea to Emily to create the right design. So that's why niche is very important. Niche down.
Yeah. And I think that's about all we have time for tonight. Get yourself a coach. Get yourself amazing friends who can even be mentors for you, and be intentional about your journey.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for. Ladies, you were amazing. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for tuning
My
in.
IG Live family, cheers, good night. You can catch this recording on my YouTube channel in a week's time. Hopefully 2 days time. Thank you very much for Generation
Genesis.
who's doing this amazing recording for us. And we're out. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.